Good day, good day. Right now we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube. Peace. This is called Letter to a Soldier's Death Wish. The Gentile Christ. In this book, man, I wish I had some more light. Let me see. This is messed up. I'm trying to see if I can find some light. Let me see if I can do some light. In this book. Damn, this is crazy. So I'm gonna find some better lighting once I get it, once I get situated. In this book, it's called Nikolai. I'm reading to you in detail. I'm reading some excerpts out of this. I'm gonna take you to the Coburn Bible. I'm gonna take you to the regular Bible, and then we're gonna chop it up. And anybody is more than welcome to chime in. I want you to come in. I want your comments. We want your thoughts. We want your doubts. We want all of that, and all of it's welcome. Same thing to you too. We want all your comments, all your doubts is all welcome. But in this book, like the Simpsons, when they told you about Ebola and the monkey dude, I forget, George the monkey, he's laying in the bed with Ebola, and sure enough, Ebola came to Africa. When they talk about the 9/11, same thing. But they put it in the books before they become movies. Terminator was in the book before it became a movie. The zombie apocalypse was in a book before it became a movie. The story of Jesus was in the book before it became a movie. The story of Muhammad was in the book before it became a movie. So all the movies that you're watching, not sitcoms, but movies, documentaries, were first written in books. So one day, I'm trying to get this thing set up here because my studio stuff ain't set up yet. But that's a little lighter. That's a little brighter. All right, that's what's up. Let's see. We get some. Oh, I don't know where that darkness came in at. Let's see if we get a better lighting somehow. Anyway, screw that part. So what I want to do is read you what they say is the Antichrist. Is he here? Yes. Is he about to be ushered in sometime soon? Yes. Let's ride with me on this. Then we're going to go into this book here. Behold the Pale Horse Rider. All right, this book here. Behold the Pale Horse Rider. That confirms this book. Now, I have these books we can go into that confirm these two books. I have these 4 books, and this is true literature. This is true culture, true history. You can find it in any language, in anywhere on the planet. Then we have this book, the Catholic College Edition. So this means in this Catholic Study Bible, the New American Second Edition, is a college book. Okay? College. This is not a book for people who just come to church and la-di-da-di. No. This is what your pastor is being taught before he gets his deaconship or his pastoral degree or his degree to teach about Jesus or to teach about the Bible. And I don't know if y'all ever thought that was funny, is that why do I have to go to school to teach about God's word? Did that ever dawn on any of you? Why am I going to school to teach my people about God's word, which is free? So Heavenly Father, we ask that you guide us and protect us from our ignorance, protect us from what we know, protect us from what we don't know. We ask that you open up our minds and our hearts and our souls and our spiritual ears, our spiritual eyes, our spiritual nostrils, our spiritual tongue, our spiritual feelings. Let these be all confined in the one that you may be confirmed according to your divine will, not mine. For your will is the best will. By the power of the Holy Spirit I come, and to the prophets before me and after me, we say thank you. Selah. Now we're going to dig into this. First, to all you sleepy people, I want a man who don't live with his mom. Bill Gates can live with his mom and parents for a long time, and look where he's at right now. That sucks for the black community. The black man should have this type of car. Black man should have this type of that. Well, guess what? Black man don't make cars. Black man don't make buses or airplanes. Your white daddy makes buses, planes, and cars and shit like that. So that's why he has all that. And guess what? And after he makes his cars and planes, he goes home with his mom and his dad and his children, his grandmothers and them. And they become a whole family or a whole clan. And when a clan produce more cars and more boats of different names and fashions, and they sell it to you niggas, so you black woman can say, if he ain't got a car, a train, a boat, or this, he ain't a man. That's ludicrous. Then we're hearing, what can a man bring to the table? The man is the table that you lay your heart on top of. Do you not lay on top of your man, woman? Or man, don't you lay on top of your woman? Your body is the table. Your loins is the fruit. Your fingers is the utensils that you hug and carry your family to and from. This is like really sad that you cannot be human and be a man without these stigmatas of you got to have this, you got to have that to be with me. Black woman, I don't know, have you checked your table lately? You're either by yourself, you're engulfed in vanity, you're engulfed in your sexual things, you change your eyeballs, you change your ass, you change your titties, you change everything about you, but you want a man to come to bring something to the table. For one, you're not even real. Men, you talking about what can a woman bring to the table? You getting makeup on your beards. You're buying cars and shit you can't afford. You talking about you got this job and got that job, but you have not created a job for your own family. And if that person fire you from your job, you got nothing. You know where you're gonna be at? You're gonna be in the hood with the rest of the so-called broke niggas. And you're gonna be at home with your mom and dad too. Black man and black woman, y'all need to stop that. So, in saying that, behold the pale horse rider tells you about the invisible war. So, we're going to read an insert to this. Silent weapons of quiet wars. It says this. Where is the one about the black man and the black woman? I had to share this with somebody too. Where is it at? Check this out. This is a war. It's called the silence. This is the war. It's called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Check this out. Short list of inputs. Question to be answered. What, when, where, how, why, who. General source of information. Telephone taps. Surveillance. Analysis of garbage. Behavior of children in schools. Standard of living. Food, clothing, shelter. Transportation. So when you say what's about, when could a black man or black woman come to the table, then you can't bring anything to the table because it's a silent weapon. Here we go again. Social contacts, telephone, itemized record of calls, family, marriage, certificates, birth certificates, friends, associates, membership in organizations, political affiliations, personal paper trail, check accounts, credit cards, blah, 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 blah. Assets, checks, savings, real estate, business, automobile, safety, and stocks. These are attacks on the so-called black man and black woman's ways of maneuvering on this planet. So this is a war. So you're not going to be able to bring anything to the table called black man and black woman. The table is not made for you to come. You're not made for you to sit at the table. Liabilities, creditors, enemies, loans, consumer credit, government sources, welfare, Social Security, USDA surplus food, doles, grants, subsidies. Now, every time I hear about a black person talking about coming up, what you say? They just went to the government because they got what? Money. Let's go because they got what? Subsidies. Let's go to this because they got what? Grants. It's all a setup. When you get grants and money from the devil, from the Gentiles, from the government, that means you have sold your idea and your way of life, and you're going to drown in the interest, never to get out. Government sources, okay, we got that. government sources and intimidation, Internal Revenue Service, OSHA, census, etc. Habits, patterns, programming, strengths and weaknesses, activities, sports, hobbies, SEAL, legal, fear, anger, crime record, hospital record, drug sensitivities, reactions to pain, psychiatric records, fear, anger, disgust, adaptabilities, reactions to stimuli, violence, suggestibility of hypnosis, pain, pleasure, love, and sex, method of coping, adaptability, behavior, consumption of alcohol, consumption of drugs, consumption of entertainment, consumption of religious factors influencing behavior, consumption of other methods of escaping from reality. Payments of modus operandi, MO, or pay on time, payment of telephone bill, energy purchases, water purchases, repayment of loans, house payments, automobile payment, payments on credit cards, political sensitivity, belief, contacts, position, strength, project, activities, weakness. And this can go on and on and on and on. But I'm going to read something to you out of this. It's going to push your wig back. How do you enforce this? 1. In every social system, approach stability is achieved only by understanding and accounting for human nature, action/reaction patterns. Action/reaction patterns. Understanding the accounting for human nature. Let me say this again. Understanding the accounting of human nature, meaning your action as a man and your reaction patterns as a woman. God forbid you put black, white, any type of religion to that. In other human social schemes, one form or another of intimidation or incentive is essential to the success of the draft, as you write it up. It says now, physical principles of action and reaction must be applied to both internal and external subsystems. So that means the internal is what makes my heart beat, or what makes your heart beat. The external is what's outside of you. It's what's outside of you. The external, what's moving them people, what's moving the woman, what's moving the female, what's moving the black woman, or what's moving the black female, or the white woman, or the white female, what's moving you, what's moving everything outside of you. This is the external enforcement. And it's just as strong as the internal enforcement. And so when the external mix up with the internal, now I have enforced my will upon you. So now, you black man, you better not go live with your mama. You black man, you better not go live with your daddy. You black man, you better have a car. You better have a banking account. You better be in debt. You black man, you better do this if you want this pussy, or if you want this titty, or you want to be with me since I'm fine. Not knowing that you're part of the problem with that type of mentality. Because everybody else on the planet is chilling out with their mother and fathers and family, but you black man and you black woman, and that's why you can't get along. Because of this silent war. It's in the book. And it's an old book. Let me go on. This is going to blow your mind. To secure the draft, individual brainwashing, programming, and both the family unit and the peer group must be engaged and brought under control. This must be brought under control. So when I read this post today, when the woman said that, what can a man bring to the table if he lived with his mom, ain't got no car, ain't got this? You're part of the program. You're the problem. Black woman, you just solidified the silent war when you said, if a man don't got this, he's not a man. But you're a female, you're a woman. You don't even know what a man is or does because you're not him. And you can't teach a boy to be a man, just like I can't teach a girl to be a woman. We all have to play our part. So check this out. You're teaching this black man and black woman in your communities, and you're putting Jesus on it, you put Muhammad, you put Christian religion, you put your game on it, you put your sets up on it, you put your icon on it, you put your children on it, you're saying on God on this. This is how you're failing miserable and you're dying faster than anything on the planet. Now, factor 2, father. The man of the household must be housebroken to ensure that Junior will grow up with the right social training and attitudes. Let me read this again. The man of the household must be housebroken. So that means if he ain't at home with his mom or his dad or with his wife or his children or his brothers and sisters, that means he's housebroken. He's homeless. And if he go live with you, black woman or white woman, then now he's fixed because you got a house. Now he got a house, but yet there is no mother and father. There's no household. Household. You know how you hold on to your money or you hold on to that gun? The man cannot hold his house. Even if he had his own house and cars, you know why? Because another nigga or a nigga is going to play him out of it. Why? Because this. After the man's been housebroken to ensure that Junior will grow up with the right social, remember? Social training and attitude. That's why you have all these faggot ass for sons and faggots for daughters. Because they have the right social media, right social training. So everything is socialized now. Everybody, look at me. Click, 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 vanity, social. You can't socialize with me if you ain't got your own car. You can't socialize with me if you ain't got your own jewelry. You can't socialize with me if you ain't bought you a new ass or some new eyelashes or you just didn't replace everything God gave you for free. That's fucked up. I'm getting angry as I read this. The advertising media, etc., are engaged to see to it that the father is pussy whipped. Right here. We'll show you this. The father, I take my glasses off this one. I got to take my glasses off because we've been in for 17 minutes. Hold on. I got to shake this off. The father. What's up? Y'all can chime in. Anybody want to come in? I'll do an invite. Let me see if you want to invite you. Come in. We can talk about this. We need to talk this because nobody, when we do videos, nobody wants to chime in on kinfolk shit like they do everybody else's. Because we'll bring the books out and then, you know. The father of the household must be housebroken and pussy whipped. Now, to all you men and women out there. Now, when you hear it, now that you heard that the man must be housebroken and pussy whipped, who got the pussy? It's called silent war. Silent war. Silent war. Silent war is the man is to be housebroken and then pussy whipped. So let's go into how does the black man get pussy whipped? One, if you tell the so-called black woman, shut the fuck up, what happens? There's another black man who's going to come, don't talk to her like that. You know why? Pussy whipped. Even though she wrong. Pussy whipped. A female going to take a nigga's shit and he go over to try to get his shit. She'll fuck him up while taking her shit, but she take his shit, it's cool. But when he goes over there to get his shit, what she do? She call the police, pussy whip, bow, go to jail. Call some buck nigga or her brother or some buck nigga daddy who's what? Bow, pussy whip, bow, pussy whip, bang, 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 pussy whip. That's why there's more men in penitentiary than there is on the streets. You know why? Because his house broken and he's pussy whipped. And y'all black women use that pussy to whip us all the fucking time. I gotta have a house to talk to you. Bitches, you pitching in? I gotta have a car to meet you and talk to you, to get to know you. pussy whipped. Let us continue reading. We're going to get into the Gentile Christ. This leads up to your Christianity and your Islamic and your way of life and black power shit. And I'm from Africa, and we from Africans, we kings and queens. From what this is saying, you're none of that. And I'm gonna prove it to you, because they already wrote it, and it's implemented right now. So now, where's we at? First of all, are engaged to see to it that the father-to-be is pussy whipped before or by the time he is married. So that means we want your sons and daughters to be fucking like rabbits and having sex with each other and doing porno and dressing like whores and prostitutes by the time they are married. Meaning, before you have sex in a godly fashion. Then it says, he is taught that he either conforms to the social notch cut out for him, or sex life will be hobbled and his tender companionship will be zero. That's me. I'm like, really? We have so many skills to build. I build houses, cars, furniture, shit from scratch. Plant gardens from scratch. Breed dogs, animals from scratch. Everything we get is literally from scratch. No money from the beginning, none of that. And we literally build things with this. And I'm sitting here listening to women come on, man, gotta have a job, you gotta do this, and that. But as I'm reading this book, he is taught that he either conforms to the social notch cut out for him. So that means, black woman, whatever they taught you from the day you was born till now. I'm talking to every black woman on the planet. Whatever they taught you from the day you was born till now, if I don't fit into that notch of social structure, it says this. Or his life will be hobbled, that's mine, which are called broke niggas and shit like that. And his tender companionship will be zero. You know why? Because you don't want a man. You want a boy. You want somebody to control. Or it says right here, the father has to be pussy whipped before the time he is married. So that means I have to give you control over my man covering or my manhood, because my hood is covering the Most High who covers my head. Manhood. Hood is the cover, right? So if I'm covered with God, then I'm not going to fit into this social media structure or your knots planned out for me. What you think I am as a man. Or you think guys that look like me as a man. Could never be. He is made to see that the woman demands security more than logical, principled, or honorable behavior. Let me read this again. He is made to see that the woman demands security more than logic. She demands security more than principle. She demands security more than honorable behavior. So what are you bringing to the table, black woman or black man? What table is being set? Silent war is being set, and it's in root right now. By the time his son must go to war, father, with jelly for a backbone. With jelly for a backbone, will slam a gun into Junior's hands before father will risk the censor of his peers or make a hypocrite of himself by crossing the investment he has in his own personal opinion or self-esteem. Junior will go to war or father will be embarrassed. So Junior will go to war, the true purpose notwithstanding. So Junior will go to the hood and kill his own fucking brother. The little sister will go to the hood and kill her own fucking brother and sister and her own children. Because we have all these babies being murdered. Come on, what you bring it to the table? None of you black people have anything to bring to any motherfucking table. It's an illusion. It's brainwashed. It's worse than your Jesus teaching. It's worse than your I'm God complex. It's worse than your fucking we're from Egypt complex. It's worse than we're fucking from Africa complex. Pitiful, man. Factor 3, mother. Check one out. Female element, not woman, female element of human society is ruled by emotion first and logic second. A female, not a woman. See, the woman, it states here that she has logic, she has principles, and honorable behavior. That's a woman. And thus is a man. So they mesh with that. But a male and a female element of a human society is ruled by emotion first. Oh, you said this about me. Oh, I'm black and beautiful. Oh, I'm this and I'm God and I'm emotional. Fuck out of here. And logic second. You didn't put logic before the emotion of why are you so fucking emotional. But no, you've got emotional first and try to use logic to describe your fucked up ass emotions. In the battle between logic and imagination, imagination always wins. Fantasy prevails. Material instinct dominates so that the child comes first and the future comes second. So without the logic, not knowing that the child is the future, so the child in hopes is coming first, but really is second. Why? Because you're taking future second as you want what's on the table now. A woman with a newborn baby is to steer-eyed to see a wealthy man's cannon fodder or a cheap source of slave labor. A woman must, however, be conditioned to accept the transition to reality when it comes or sooner. You notice the difference when he says the female element of human society is ruled by emotion, but then he says a woman must, however, be conditioned to accept the transition to reality. Is you go bring that to the table? Female, black males? Or are you going to transition into reality when it comes or sooner? Or to get deep, it's getting deep. As the transition becomes more difficult to manage, the family unit must be carefully disintegrated. And state-controlled public education and state-operated child care centers must become more common and legally enforced so as to begin the detachment of the child from the mother and father in earlier stages. This is why you think like this, black woman and black man, today, because they put you in this state of mind. Public education, state-operated child care centers, legally enforced so it can begin to detach the child from the mother and the father. So now, black man and black woman, you're saying, because I've been raised to stay away from my mother and father, now my man must leave his mother and father. He can't be around his mother and father. He can't be around his ex-girlfriend or his ex-children. Well, not ex-children, but it's part of his extended life. He can't handle parts of that. It got to be just me. That's horrible. That's insane and demonic. That is slanderous and scandalous, i.e., devil. You are a black devil. And as soon as you can admit it and then work on it and switch from being a black devil into reality, things will be a little different for us. So, inoculation of behavioral drugs. Ritalin, not just crack and heroin, but Ritalin can speed the transition from the child. Mandatory. Caution. A woman's impulsive anger can override her fear. An irate woman's power must never be underestimated, and her power over pussy-whipped husband must likewise never be underestimated. It got women the vote in 19. Let me read this again. A woman's impulsive anger can override her fear. An irate woman's power must never be underestimated. Listen to this. And her power over a pussy-whipped husband must likewise never be underestimated. Your pussy-whipped husband or your pussy-whipped ex-husband, your pussy-whipped ex-boyfriend, your pussy-whipped ex-relationships, your dick-whipped wife, your dick-whipped ex-girlfriends, your dick-whipped side chicks. Wow. Wow. Factor 4, Junior. The emotional pressure for self-preservation during time of war and the self-serving attitude of the common herd that having an option to avoid the battlefield. If Junior can persuade to go, is all the pressure finally necessary to propel Johnny off to war. The quiet blackmailings of him or the threats. No sacrifice, no friends, no glory, no girlfriends. Factor 5, sister. And with Junior's sister, she is given all the good things of life by her father and taught to expect the same from her future husband, regardless of the price. The father's pussy whipped, but the daughter gets everything she wants from the father, regardless of the price. So now the daughter, because the father's pussy whipped, and he has a daughter, she's teaching her daughter that it's okay to be with pussy whipped men, be given everything no matter the price. Because as long as you don't have logic, daughter, as long as you don't have, what's the other word they have here? Honorable men or honorable attributes, you don't care. Factor 6, those who will not use their brains are no better off than those who have no brains. And so this mindless school of jellyfish, father, mother, son, and daughter become useful beasts of burden or trainers of the same. Let me read this again. You cattle, black man, black woman, whatever it is that you want to call your motherfucking self, or whatever religion you want to put on it. Those who will not use their brains are no better off than those who have no brains. And so this mindless school of jellyfish, father, mother, son, and daughter, become useful beasts. So when you tell me I need a car, clothes, and a bank account to be with you, you are a useful beast of burdens or trainers the same. So you're trying to train other men and other women who are not into that shit to be like you. Now, we'll find another one. To power and name them. Let me see. Is this page 10? Let me see. Took a lot of notes in this book. All right. Now, read something to you called the exile people of 6,000 to 900 BCE. This is called the Great Transformation from this God to that God to now you get Jesus. See, it started here, there. You got Jesus, Muhammad, the whole thing. The hostile spirit had thrown into his lot with Duji, the lie, and with the epitome of evil. He was the eternal enemy of Asha, of everything that was right and true. But Lord Mazda, or the Mazda Miata car, so you don't know a lot of your cars you driving or resemblance of God's. The object for goodness that had created the holy immortals and human beings as his allies. Now, every single man, woman, and child had to make the same choice between Asha and Jews. For generations, the Aryans had worshipped Indra and the other devas, but now Zoroaster concluded that the devas must have decided to fight alongside the hostile spirit. The cattle raiders were their earthly counterparts. The unpreceded violence in the steppes caused Zoroaster to divide the ancient Aryan pantheon into two warring groups. Now, I'm going to skip down to this. By separating the pure from the impure, good from evil, they would liberate the world for Lord Mazda. They must pray 5 times a day. Winter was the season when the devas were in the ascendance. So during this time, all virtuous people must counter their influence by meditating on the menace of Druge. They must rise up during the night when the wicked spirits prowl the earth and throw incense into the fire to strengthen Agni in the war against evil. But no battle could last forever. In the old peaceful world, life had seemed cyclical. So now, even in this religion, the actual peoples, which I say praying 5 times a day, that sounds like Islam, don't it? What's up, folks? Welcome. Check it out. Hang out. That sounds like Islam. So all this time, you so-called black Muslims thought that you're going to pray, you're the only one praying 5 times a day. I think that's paganism. The history of God. This woman wrote another book. Her accolades from her resources. Let me show you. In the back of this book, she has all the resources from every ancient resource of every religion, from every scholar. And if we had school, if we had a school and we went through every single name that they did, we would be inside a building or where we're at researching for the next 100 years. Find something for you. Let me see. Council of True, I want to do that. Muhammad, Satanist, Allah. See page 147. 147. 145, like that. Okay, remember I showed you about the Kaaba, the Jew magic. Now we have the Jew magic right here. That's not a tree of life. It's a sigil on how to trap you into demonic realms. The god of the mystics. The Kabbalists were not antagonistic toward falsify. Many of them revered figures like Sadia, Gaon, and Mammon Maya Menades, but they found symbolism and mythology more satisfying than metaphysics for penetrating the mystery of God. The most influential Kabbalistic text was the Zohar, which was probably written in about 1275 by the Spanish mystic Moses of Leon. As a young man, he had studied Maimonides by Maimonides, Maimonides, or Maimonides, but he had gradually felt that attraction of mysticism and an esoteric tradition of Kabbalah. The Zohar, the Book of Splendor, is a sort of mystical novel which depicts the 3rd century Talmudist Simon ben Yaoni wandering around Palestine with his son Eliezer, talking to his disciples about God, nature, and human life. There was no clear structure and no systematic development of theme or ideas. Such approach would be alien to the spirit of the Zohar, whose God resists any niche system of thought. Like Ibn al-Abri, Moses of Leon believed that God gives each mystic a unique and personal revelation, so there's no limit to the way the Torah can be interpreted. As the Kabbalists progress, layer upon layer of significance is revealed. The Zohar shows the mysterious emanation of the 10 seraphs as a process whereby the impersonal Ein-Sof becomes personality in the 3 highest seraphs, Kether, Hakfan. So, even with this, they have Islam, Kabbalah with the Zohar. So all these mixings. We'll try this one too. Enlightenment. During the 1670s, he began who's he? Descartes. All right. Then this guy's name is Descartes. Descartes. During the 1670s, he began a serious theological study of the doctrine of the Trinity and came to the conclusion that it had been foisted on the church by atheists in a spacious bid for pagan converts. Now, who created Trinity? Athanasius in a spacious bid for pagan converts. So if you're doing anything in the Trinity, you're a pagan convert. You have the three in Egypt, pagan converts. You have the three in Babylon, pagan converts. You have the three in Islam, pagan converts. And they made it into Christianity called the Holy Trinity, pagan converts. This is history. Arians have been right. Jesus Christ had certainly not been God. And those pages of the New Testament that were used to prove the doctrines of the Trinity and the incarnation were spurious. Athanasius and his colleagues had forged them and added them to the canon of Scripture, thus appealing to base primitive fantasies of the masses. To expound this mumbo-jumbo from the Christian faith became something of an obsession for Newton. In the early 1680s, shortly before publishing the Principia, Newton began the work on treatise which was called The Philosophical Origins of Gentile Theology. Right here. The Gentile Antichrist. Gentile theology. Gentile Antichrist. So who's the Christ? Who's the Christ coming? Let's get into the meat and potatoes. We're going to take a 1 minute resource real quick. Just 1 minute break. Let that marinate. Let that marinate for a minute. Let that soak in. Anybody's welcome. If you want to come in, you want to chime in, let me know. I'm more than welcome to bring you in. But if you just want to watch, cool, we with that. Now, The Rise of the Antichrist, Nicolay, by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins. Here's their picture. They wrote the book. Here's his picture. Who wrote the book? Now, we'll read what they say in the back of it. In Nicolay, the most explosive of the three books thus far, the 7-year tribulation is near the end of its first quarter. When prophecy says that the wrath of the Lamb will be poured out upon the earth, Rayford still becomes the heirs of the tribulation saints of the highest levels of the Carpathian regime. Meanwhile, Buck Williams attempts a dramatic all-night rescue run from Israel through the Sinai that will hold you breathless to the end. So they're talking about scripture in this. Now, Nicolaitans, remember Nicolay. See this? Nicolay. Sorry, my camera light's not too good. Nicolay. Matter of fact, hold up. Hold the phones. Oh, Mom Dukes took the other, what you call it? I don't have a way to prep. Let me see. This might work. This would be the shit that works like that. This would be the shit if it works like that. Oh, my God, that's the shit. That's the, man. I could hook up the light while I charge my earbuds and put some light on the scene. All right, let's get to this. He says it's going to be a long video. It's going to be a long one. All right, so, let's see. Here we go. Here's the book. All right, here's the book. Now, like I said, give me 1 minute to dive into it real quick. Your mind right. Take a little sip, mouth getting dry. That's some devils, man. And y'all don't even know it. The black woman, you's a devil. You don't even know it. Black man, you's a devil. Don't even know it. You say, nigga, what's making you so different? Because I'm the one telling you it. And I can't be the devil trying to destroy the devil. That wouldn't make sense, right? See if I can fix this a little bit better. Here we go. Maybe I need to sit back. There we go. So, let's get into this. All right. We're going to scan through the pages. Now, you know what? Got my tablet right here. But it's on my screen, on my TV. So I'll read it out to you real quick about the Nicolaitans. Oh, let's put this up. Put this right back up. All right. Who are the Nicolaitans in the Bible? Who are the Nicolaitans in the Bible? Okay, now, the Nicolaitans are the followers of the Nicholas, who was one of the 7 first ordained to deaconate by the apostles. Okay? Sticky thing coming up. So, it was an early Christian sect mentioned twice in the book of Revelations and of the New Testament. The adherents were called Nicolaitans, or Nicolaits. They were considered heretical by the mainstream early Christian church. According to Revelations 2:6 and 1:5, they were known in the cities of Ephesus and Pergamum. All right, this is Gentiles, though. All right, Ephesians is in Greece somewhere. In this chapter, the church of Ephesus is endorsed for hating the works of the Nicolaits, which I also hate. And the church of Pergamos is rebuked, so thou hast also come worship me in their midst who hold the teachings of the Nicolaits. Several of the church fathers mentioned in this group, including Irenaeus, Hippolytus, Epiphanius, Theodoret, say that Nicolaitans, the deacon, one of the 7, was the author of the heresies of the sect. Now, book of Revelations, but it says this. Yeah, this is to your credit, the church of Ephesus. Now, mind you, these are Gentiles, and these are churches. These are not Hebrews. These are not Muslims. He says this. You hate the works of the Nicolaitans, which I, Jesus, also hate. Revelations 2:6. But I have a few things against you, the church of Pergamos. You have some there who hold to the teachings of Balaam, the devil, who taught Balak to put stumbling block. Remember we told you about the stumbling block? Jesus is the stumbling block. To be a slanderer is a stumbling block. To be a devil is a stumbling block. Remember that word stumbling block we did in that last video? If y'all been watching that last video on the stumbling block. So, you have there hold to some teachings, Balaam, who taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the people of Israel. Being black is a stumbling block. Being a black man or black woman is a stumbling block. African American is a stumbling block. Saying you're from Africa is a stumbling block. And these are the Balaam and the Balak teachings that keep you from being the child of Israel. So that they would eat food sacrificed to who? Idols. Ain't you supposed to have Christmas dinner? Ain't you just have Thanksgiving dinner? You just have Easter dinner? All these idols, you black devils, are serving food to and sacrifice to. And practice fornication. It's right here. You're guilty. You're guilty. And you're going to ask me, as a man, not a black man, what can I bring to the table? What can I bring to the table? This is what you're bringing to the table. Pagan worship. You're sacrificing food and your sex and fornication to idols. And you're saying, I'm blessed and highly favored. I guess you are. I got my house, I got my car, I got my big booty, I got my long penis, and I got my shoes, I got my bling bling. Yeah, my baby got this and that. You're fornicators of idol worship. You're telling God and the whole planet and the universe that you hate reality, that you hate being the creation of the Most High Yah. So you also have someone who holds to the teaching of the Nicolaitans. Repent then. If not, I will come to you soon and make war against them with the sword of my mouth. If not, I will look. If you don't repent, I will come to you soon, make war against them with the sword of my mouth. My name is OMAR, means speaker. HOSEA means salvation. Speak salvation. Yes, Father. Literally. With the sword of my mouth. So, with my mouth, we're going to use the sword. Now, Bishop Isidore of Seville. The last Western Church father was Isidore of Seville, who finished the etymologies in the year 636. So when you say find the etymology of a word, there's a bunch of etymologies. There's a lot of people and groups just creating words with the etymological meaning of it. So when you say find the etymology of a word, there's not just one universal etymology. There are several. Okay, niggers. Now, it says this. In the year 680, in the book 8, titled The Church and Sex, De Ecclesia et Secta. That's this Latin word for it. De Ecclesia et Secta. He wrote the Nicolaitans, or the Nicolaits. You see that? The Nicolaitans. All right? So these guys, Tim Leahy and Jerry B. Jenkins, they know about the Nicolaitans or the Nicolaitans, who are also called from Nicolaus, the deacon of the Church of Jerusalem. So the Nicolaitans were in the Church of Jerusalem. It says, who along with Stephen and the others was ordained by Peter. He abandoned his wife because of her beauty, so that whoever wanted to might enjoy her. The practice turned into a debauchery, with partners being exchanged in turn. Hosea condemns them in the Apocalypse, saying 2:6, but this thou hast, that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaits. All right, so this is written about this deeds and was promoted in the black communities and the black churches all over the globe. Nicolaitans. So now, let's get into the Antichrist. I am an Antichrist. I'm anti-Christian. I'm anti all that. Not that I want to kill it or see people be mutilated for it. That is not my job. I know the best of all that. We're just here to do things with the sword of our mouth. So, let's get into it. Now, in this book, there's a word called Carpathia. Now, in this book, all right, it goes in a dialogue about who is Nicolay. All right. I did some notes in here. I'm going to read this anyway. You have not a minute to spare. All I can do is trust God at this point, Buck said. He pointed Verna in the right direction. She sped to the edge of Mount Prospect and slid up to the curb in front of the really beautiful, rambling old home. Verna did not allow Buck to even take the time to make introductions. She said, he will know each other is. So let's let Cameron get going. I arranged for a call for you, Loretta said. It should be here in a few minutes. I'll take Verna's for now, but I sure appreciate it. Keep the phone on as long as you need it, Verna said. As a letter, or excuse me, as Verna said, as Loretta welcomed her. Buck pushed the driver's seat all the way back and adjusted the mirror. He punched in the number and he even given for Nicolay Carpathia and tried to return that call. The phone was answered by an aide. I'll tell him you returned his call, Mr. Williams. Boy, he can do international broadcast just now. You might want to tune in. But Buck whipped on the radio while racing toward the only route he could imagine, Claude taking to escape to Chicago. Something about Chicago that the Christ, the Gentile Christ, is set some type of antenna there. Ladies and gentlemen, from unknown locations, we'll bring you live the global community pontificate Nicolay Carpathia. Now, Nicolay Carpathia is the one who rules the world now. His name is Nicolay Carpathia. This is what sought me to my research even further, right? Where is Carpathia? Now, if any of y'all know about Russia, where's my other book at? Here we go. Bang. We're going to get into this. Now, in the book, I showed you Nicolay, right? Now, here's Carpathia. Here's Carpathia. Where's Carpathia? Matter of fact, I'm gonna shoot it to you. I'm gonna shoot it to you. I'm gonna shoot it to you. Hold tight. I'm gonna shoot it to y'all. I'm gonna shoot it to y'all. Carpathia. If you think this is a hoax. Now, note this. Carpathia is in Central Eastern Europe. Scandinavian, you know this scandalous or the scandal, the devils. Czech Republic, Australia, Slovakia or Slav or slave, Poland, Hungary, Ukraine, Romania, Serbia, the Tetra Mountains. All right? Now, hold up. Carpathian Mountains. We shoot a link. We shoot it to you. Facebook. They mess with my timing here. We'll put in more knowledge. It's going to be called The Home of the Gentile Christ. Note, Trump and Russian affairs. Now remember who told you this. All right? Remember who told you this. Let's go back to Carpathia. Let's go back. Now, I want to send you the photos, a picture. We're going to go to ancient Carpathia. All right, let's see. Where's Carpathia? That's it. I want an ancient Carpathia or Carpani. Okay, now, here's where they come from. I'm going to send it to you again. Now, I don't know if you have noticed. All right. Share link. Okay, now. More knowledge. The Gentile Christ. And Trump. And USA and USA military. I was wrong. See, a lot of times when we get to doing these videos, my somehow my communications slow up states. So now, as the Bible says, the Carpi or the Carpathians or the house of Satan. I also showed you that they've already, I forgot the guy's name. He's the one that gave you the Trinity. And he copied the Trinity from Egypt. Egypt copied it from Babylon. Babylon got it from the fallen ones. We got that. Now, Romania. Now, like I said, there's the Decian nation, the ethnic groups including not Samaritans, but the Sarmatians, the Thracians, the Slavs or the Slavics, the Germanic peoples or the Celts. So, we now know who the Carpathians is, and the ancient ones, and who they associated with. Now, Greco-Romans called these people the Carpi or the Carpani, probably the earliest mention of them under the name Carpani in Latin, and the geographical second Greek geographical Ptolemy composed at AD 140. The name Capri or Carpani may derive from the same root name of the Carpathian mountains range that they occupied. Also, first mentioned by Ptolemy under the name Carpates, Pro-Indo-European meaning peak or cliff, rock. Latin scarpa, scarpata, English escarpment. Scholars who support this derivation divided between those who believe the Carpi gave the name to the mountain range, name meaning mountain of Carpe. So now, let's go into the Bible. In the Bible, who are the Nicolaitans? I don't know how I get to this thing. Something came up on a video thing here on YouTube, but that's all right. So, who are the Nicolaitans and Revelations? Christianity.com. Let's get there. Although it's not out of the ordinary for God to hate practices of the pagan groups, such as the child sacrifice of the Canaanites, the Nicolaitans seem to stand out from other sects that have arisen in Scripture, and throughout church history, Nicolaitans have drawn a great deal of scholarly debate because much known about the group still lies in obscurity. Now, Roman version of the Greek god Artemis, Diana. All right, not that. The letter also makes one more positive remark, that they hate the practices of the group called the Nicolaitans, which God also appears to hate in Revelation 26. Although it's not out of the ordinary for God to hate the practices of pagan groups, the Canaanites, the Leviticus, let's go to Revelation 2:6. All right, let's go to Revelation 2:6. Bible study tools. But you have this in favor. You hate the practices of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate. But this thou hast, thou hate, but this thou hast, that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate. Yes, this you have. You hate the works of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate. I hate that, Yahweh says. I hate that. I hate what they're doing. Nicolay, Carpathia, and we have the global community continent. Let's get into that. Blah. Let's see. Let me add something to this. Add the home screen. We take that. Add automatically. All right. Now let's get back to what was I asking for? Global community. Who is the global community today? Okay, we're gonna get into it. What is the global communities? Global community example, global community. What is global community? No, let's say global community definition and examples. Let's get there. The people or nation of the world considered as being closely connected by modern telecommunications, as being economically, socially, and politically interdependent. Okay. What is the example of a global community? In the past 20 years, Minnesota, much like the rest of the United States, have reflected a global community. Refugees and immigrants are coming from all over the world: West and East Africa, Southeast Asia, Russia, Bosnia, Central. So we know what a matter of fact. Let's see if we can pick it up. Introduction to global community. Introduction to the global community. When I left Minnesota in 1992 to attend college on the East Coast, I was excited because I knew that I would experience a multitude of cultures that did not exist or were barely visible in Minnesota. This is my giving an insert, right? But you know what? We're not going to get into that. We know what the global community consists of. Now, back to this book. This is why we made this video, why it was so pertinent to me making this video. Because now, Nicolay Carpathia, Nicolay was the Nicolaitans, the God hate, in Europe, where the apostles went, right? Then, here's a Carpathian, or Carpathia, Nicolay Carpathia, the city of the cliff dwellers, the cavemen, the wild men. They had no regards for God's people or God himself. So, let's go a little further in this book. We're going to go towards the end. We're going to speed it up to the end. Just give you something real quick. All right, now what happens at the end? Let's see what happens at the end. Because Nicolay Carpathia is inducted to be the world leader by the global community. He's Russian. He's from Eastern Europe. And I'm finding it not too far off right now that Trump hold on, I'm trying to get the page where it actually, check it out. There are also only other things that I'm carrying. This is page 245. This is the language they use. It's wow. Very good, sir. When the bar is raised, please pull your vehicle to the right and meet me in the building on the left. Buck slowly drove under, because Buck works for the global television. And so he's allowed to go certain places because he works for the global community, which is Nicolay Carpathia is the leader of the global community, and he ranges war the whole world if you don't follow his rules. I'm gonna get to that. Matter of fact, I need to get to that now. Okay, where's it at? I just want to give you some of the insert about what was going on. All right. You have to get the book. I don't want to waste too much time trying to find this point. But it says, sir, if you must understand the position, amen, I have global community Pontiac Carpathia himself patched through to secure a cell phone here. I didn't even know where he was calling from. If I put someone on the phone and tell the Pontiac it's Rayford Steele, it had blamed better be Rayford Steele, but was grateful that Rayford cat and mouse game had taken the spotlight off the others in the car, but that doesn't last. Rayford slipped from his breast pocket his ID wallet, and as the GC or global community man studied it, he asked Eiley and the others, family and friends, Rayford said, let's not keep the Pontiac waiting. I was going to have to ask you to take his car outside the car, sir. Understand the security risk. Let me skip something else. Now, Carpathia is in Illinois already. He must have been out of Washington before the attack. I thought he might have taken him to one of the bomb shelters at the Pentagon or the National Security Administration, but his intelligence people must have figured those who would be the first places the militia would attack. Who's the militia? You are, folks. This reminds me of when we were first married, Buck said, and Chloe snuggled close to him. We'll go further down. Now, Cleo turned up the radio, devastating carnage everywhere here in the heart of Manhattan. Bombed out buildings, emergency vehicles picked their way through the debris, civil defense workers pleading with people over loudspeakers to stay underground. All major transportation centers have been closed, if not destroyed. Huge traffic jams have snarled the Lincoln Tunnel, Triborough Bridge, and every major artery out of New York City. Who has known the capital of the world looks like the set of a disaster movie. Now back to the cable news, Global Community Network in Atlanta. They're coming to destroy America. This Russian, Eastern European, who hates the teachings of the Most High, who created the New Testament, who created Islam, the new Islam, all these new things that you come to love. Got the book, got the research, got the military guy who actually wrote it in a book, this whole program. That's what makes this book connected with this book, connected with this tablet, connected with this Bible, connected with these books. Yeah. You say, well, bro, how did the Jew and the Russian get involved in this? This is why the Jew and them run the program. It is no solution to this problem to seek a resolution of the Arab's identity crisis. The Arab cannot combine his Arab nationalism with living in a Jewish, not Arab state. The growing number of educated Israeli Arabs during secondary schools and universities will never constitute a more moderate and cooperating Arab minority. Precisely the opposite, every example of the history shows that revolutionaries come not from the numb, dumb peasant and oppressed classes, but from the intellectual middle or upper classes, or the sons of the oppressed classes which have escaped into rarefied atmosphere of the university. It is the new education Arab generation that is infinitely more dangerous, that is unwilling to accept the status and something less than first-class citizen, and that will resort to ever-growing protests and results. The chosen land. This is called our challenge, the battle plan for the creation of a new Jewry. Rabbi Meir Kahane, founder of the Jewish Defense League. Now, page 134 or page 51? Page 51. This is the plan, family. Peep gang. Our challenge, page 51, the chosen land. I'll mark that. I read this whole book. Just give you some inserts in it. At the end of that time, the applicant must repeat his intention of becoming a citizen and swearing loyalty to the state of Israel. Notice of such intention and declaration will be printed in 3 Arab newspapers for 2 consecutive weeks. The intent here is clearly to discourage the Arab from asking for citizenship. At the same time, the government should make a definite offer to all territory residents that those who opt for non-citizenship will be automatically free from national taxes, as well as pushing for a mass program of birth control education and liberating literature for Arab women. All efforts to combine education with the reduced high Arab birth rate with government incentives aimed at raising the Jewish birth rate are vital in a demographic war. In addition, every conceivable Jewish resource must go into the effort to increase Aliyah, Jewish immigration to mass proportions. This is an absolute necessity, not only for the Jews or the Galut themselves, but also for those in Israel. The infusion of 2 million or more Jews into the state assures us a political majority, whatever the numbers of Arabs. Furthermore, there is an extraordinary difference between the small population we have today and a large Jewish state of 5 million Jews. One does not speak so glibly of wiping out or dismantling such a state. Because of this, one cannot demand too strongly the Israeli efforts toward maximum Aliyah through all possible means be expanded to the utmost, regardless of the reaction of any group or government. So these Polish Jews, these Russian Jews, these Carpathian Jews, these Eastern European Jews that are talking about in the Bible. We get somewhere yet? So who is the Gentile? Who is the Gentile Christ? The first Gentile Christ was the one you get the picture of Jesus. You got another Gentile Christ that the black Hebrew Israelites painted with the gray hair and the fire eyes. There's another Gentile Christ. But there's another one in the flesh that's coming. Russia and the whole global community is about to go to war over one little piece of land. And then China, the United States, and all the globe are going to go to war over one piece of land, North Korea. That's part of the global takeover, the global community. What you're seeing on TV is the global community, and they're about to reveal the Gentile Christ. I have another part for you. Let me see what's in here. Is it this one? No. College Bible. Let's see in Isaiah. Oh, snap. Damn. Oh, man. Shh. Oh, that's my page in the Maccabees, too. Okay, so now, we're going to find in the book of Maccabees. Oh, yes, this Bible has all the Apocryphas in it. Now, these are the same Catholics that gave you Jesus Christ. The same Catholics that gave you the Trinity and stuff. They didn't give you the book of Maccabees. So let's read in here. We'll just go in here. Remission of sin. Happy the sinner whose fault is removed, whose sin is forgiven. Happy those to whom the Lord imputes no guilt, and whose spirit is no deceit. As long as I kept silent, my bones wasted away. I groaned all the day, for day and night your hands was heavy upon me. My strength withered as in dry summer heat. Then I declared my sin to you, Abba. My guilt I did not hide. I said, Father, I confess my faults to you. And you took away the guilt of my sin. Thus should all your faithful pray in time of distress. Though flood waters threaten, they will never reach them. You are my shelter, my distress. You keep me with safety. You ring me around. You ring me round. Selah. I will instruct you and show you the way you should walk, give you counsel and watch over you. Do not be senseless like horses or mules. With bit and brittle, their temper is curbed, else they will not come to you. Many of the sorrows of the wicked, but love surround those who trust in the Lord. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice, you just. Exalt you upright of heart. We'll end that video with that. This is your Kim Fogle More HOSEA saying peace, we love you. Keep it tight. The Antichrist will be revealed in a minute. There will be bombs. There will be torture. You are not allowed to have anything. You will be monitored every day of your life. Your children will be succumbed to slavery. It will be the new food for the beast, and their blood will be the new drink for these demons. Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to do this video. We ask that you would guide us and keep us safe. We ask that you would let this ring in their ears and their hearts. We ask that you would guide them and show them that they would see for themselves, that you would open up their hearts. For you said it is written in Joel and the Acts, meaning you spoke it and you did it, and now you're doing it right now. You said you pour your spirit out on all flesh, and then we'll have a chance to use our heart to seek you, use our heart as individuals to seek you. So we pray those will help them to seek you. So probably before me and after me, we say thank you. And we out. This one, I can't get this one off. Crap.